Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
All the way in, that's what you are here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR and 106.9 FM. Thank you for joining us. You can also see us on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809. Go through all the stuff that's on YouTube and find some, I'm on YouTube all the time, I have to say. I sometimes get caught up in those shorts where, I'll get served up a bunch of stuff that, might be semi-interesting. Then I get curious, then I start rolling through.
I was watching boats getting flooded the other day. So there was somebody coming out of a channel.
Yeah.
And the guy driving it was dumb. And and he was just hitting and the people in the front were all getting flooded.
Splashed
and police chases, I find, but they serve up things.
Yeah. And then you can get lost in it sometimes.
Golf videos.
Yeah.
It's.
And then for a while you were into people doing stupid drone things, smashing into garage doors.
Right. It makes you right. Thanks for reminding me. So when I fly, I'm very careful because you see dumb things that happen, and they can happen, but some of them are just,
I think why would people waste the time doing that? But in general, I find it very helpful. There's a lot of great my electrical stuff.
Whatever the question is, the answer is there.
Construction stuff. Yeah.
The answer might not be right, but the answer is there.
Right. At least you can get closer to where you need to be.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I've mentioned this before. Daylight savings. How do I reset the car? So I put the model of the car, reset the clock.
And you can do it, yeah.
Because it's not. It's funny. You always have to touch this button and this button at the same time and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You can get lost in it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, get lost in the Zoey stuff, folks. It's good for you, and it's probably more healthy.
Absolutely.
Happy talk for Gettys Federal. Tell me a little bit about what's going on over at Gettys right now. Rates still good for CDs, right?
The better than ever.
Yeah,
I don't know, ever. Maybe that's, I don't know that I can compare to 1979 when Jimmy Carter was in charge, but because, interest rates were 18 and or whatever crazy numbers were. But people are still buying houses. People are still putting money in certificates of deposit to get a guaranteed return.
Try
to get a hedge on inflation. They're there, they're here. And we always brag about they're here and they're local. So if that's you, get it at GettysFederalSavingsLoan.com.
All right.
Tom.
Gloria Roberts is with us right now. Gloria is Steve Roberts' mom.
Look at that.
And she's made it 90 years despite having Steve as a son.
There we go.
That's wonderful.
There we go. So,
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So something happened in 1927. Where did that start?
Not 1927.
Oh, that was your husband, my dad. 1933.
Yeah. Oh, what happened?
Yeah, go a little close.
I was born on August 27th, 1933 in Dickens, Nebraska. And the doctor came 40 miles to deliver me. And I was born at home in a town of 100. And my mother and myself, we never saw the doctor again.
Really?
That was it.
You were that bad that he didn't want to come back?
It was that primitive. It was a town of 100.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. How many siblings do you have?
One sister. She passed away. She was 3.5 years older.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
well, I'm sorry to hear that.
We lost her a few years ago.
Pardon?
We lost her a few years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Gotcha. Now, you seem to be relatively healthy. Is that because you eat your greens, or do you do anything special?
I snack all day long. No, I don't do anything special. I really don't.
No, food-wise,
sugar.
She eats sugar. She puts sugar on everything.
Oh, really?
It's the secret of longevity.
Yeah. You should put sugar on everything.
See, and they say sugar's bad for you.
No,
there you go.
No, we laugh. It's like if you go to her house, you go up. There's a bag of some kind of candy next to her bed.
Oh, there is.
But your sugar levels are fine. Your doctors, there's not a
Oh,
Yeah.
I just got a report. I was there yesterday. Everything is right in the middle. All the blood work is
Wow,
right
isn't that
there.
something?
I know. God's been good.
Yeah.
So you're turning 90 here this next weekend. What do you do with your time? People, sometimes they get older, Tom, and and there's not things to do. What's a day in the life of my mom?
Well, I get up and I write a note the night before, and then basically I plan to get everything done at home, and then my reward is to go to the airport and play the organ.
Okay.
Why is that a reward?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you just
I
love
love
playing
it, but
music.
I don't want to neglect. I don't want to come home to things that I have to do, so I do those first, and then I go over. But sometimes I'll go over early in the morning when the flights are going west, and it's really fun.
So you like it when people are a lot of people
I
there.
love it when people.
What's
are
your
there.
favorite part? Like, you like to play the organ. You could play the organ at home. You could play the organ at the airport. Why at the airport?
Because there are
It's a
people
nice organ.
there.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very nice organ, and I volunteer to play it. And people, they hear it when they walk in the airport, and they'll come over and they'll just say, well, my grandmother played the organ, or could you play this, like Amazing Grace? They just played it at my mother's funeral. Or if little kids come over, I'll play The Wheels on the Bus or Happy Birthday. But the main thing is take me out to the ball game.
Oh, wow.
That's they like that. Even though
they love it.
I don't go to many ball games. Do you, Tom?
No, I haven't.
But that's like a nostalgic. That's the thing. I think maybe a song everybody
When I was
knows.
a kid, I
they-
used to go with my grandfather all the time.
They go up the escalator and they sing and they do the motions 1,
Right.
2, 3, and it's really fun.
So you'd say you're a pretty social person. That keeps you active. You're
Very
social.
social. Very social. Yeah.
You see, and I think that's when they talk about longevity and people who live a fulfilled life, they're oftentimes speaking of being social.
Right.
And some people they trap themselves in the house. They don't do anything.
Well, some of them, they can't help it.
Yeah.
They're trapped there, but I can drive myself, and I...
Oh, so you're still driving, 90 years old, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got new mirrors a lot of times, but other
No,
than
not too many, but and I love to ride the lawnmower.
The mower.
I love
the
it.
lawnmower. That's great.
So I know this, and I'll say this about you. You like helping people.
Oh, all the time.
So,
all the time.
What does that look like? How do you're not going to be moving their furniture. How does someone that maybe is a few on in years help somebody else?
Well, for instance, I have met people, being at the airport, and I text people back and forth. And the other day, a friend from Hilton Head just texted that you could give to the whatever it was, because his family was in Hawaii and devastated.
Right, yeah.
So I tried to figure out what could I do, and I wanted it to go directly to the family.
Sure.
And then he texted back and said maybe Chick-fil-A. So I went to Chick-fil-A, and they helped me figure out how to do it on my credit card.
The folks there. What's a drive-by blessing?
Well, you just kind of figure out who would need what. And sometimes it's a jar of pickles or whatever.
So what do you do?
Just go to their driveway, and then you call on the phone and say, come on out. You don't have to go in their house, because I know I wouldn't want somebody bombing in my house. But sometimes, in the spring, I think we did little plants, and I went to Hafner's, and they wrapped them up really pretty. And you take them to somebody that that's can't get out or whatever.
Right.
And you don't have to go far. If you just open your eyes, they're all over the place.
So when can people hear you play the organ at the airport? Usually, like what's the? I know it's not a regular. It's kind of a come and go thing. Mostly mornings.
Mostly in the mornings, but sometimes I'll even go back in the afternoon if I get stuff done.
She gets her list done.
Well, Steve talks about you being an early riser, like the whole family being early risers. Have you always been an early riser?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, my husband always got up early, and we're just used
So
to it.
did my father.
Same guy.
Same guy.
And here's one thing I know
Wow.
for sure: the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Every day I think, well, what time should I go? And every time I go, there's someone there that comes to me, and they really are hurting, or not always hurting, but they like to share their thoughts.
Thoughts, yeah.
And it's fun. It really is. So sometimes they say, let me record you. And then I'm like, I want to remember this, so let me record them. So it's fun.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's Gloria Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. 90 years young right there. Thank you so much for being here and for giving us Steve.
Oh,
yeah.
And you're blessed, right?
We are blessed with Steve. We really are, even though I bust on him all the time. He's a great guy.
I think so.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we're going to talk with Julie Lewinsky. She is the owner of Care Patrol. We'll find out all about her business right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. Stick around.